the time, clustering businesses together in a business park so we make best use of the land and create synergies between all those companies. If we do more and more at sea, why don't we do the same at sea? We're here to talk about are Erwin and Nathalie. Nathalie Schedecker, you're project leader Sustainable Blue Economy at the Ministry of Agriculture, Nature and Food Quality. What is a blue economy?
Oh, actually, the blue economy is the realization of the energy, food and nature transition. We realize the more traditional blue economy like fishery, shipping, and include also the new forms of economy, and this is with regard to food, for example, aquaculture, but we also have wind energy, renewable energy. So it's a realization of the traditional and including the new.
How much more companies...
Just to tell you, I changed project leader to the project leader Maripark. So you can ask me everything about the sustainable economy, but I'm also a project leader into Maripark.
Okay. How big is the blue economy going to be in a few years from now? Are we going to see much more companies and much more types of businesses at sea?
I don't think it will be bigger. We have to go into more sustainable. And this is really important to know that even the traditional economy, we have to make it more sustainable so that we can also include new economies.
Yeah, Erwin Kohli, you're the director of Echt. Yeah, the blue economy, is it going to boom?
Yes, it's going to boom, of course. I don't know when, because it needs time. It's never been done. We are in the first phase of looking at what the possibilities are for a sustainable blue economy. But if you look at the possibilities and the opportunities, especially due to the big rollout of offshore wind and the plots that have been appointed till 2050, I think there are lots of opportunities, at least in the Netherlands, to start with a sustainable blue economy. And after the Netherlands, we go a little bit abroad. And then, well, it's a global thing, eh?
Okay, we're going to talk about Maripark, a public-private initiative. Nathalie, you're in it on behalf of the side of the government, and Erwin, you're on the side of the business side. Basically, you have the two pieces together. Maripark, when we talk about it, what is it?
Actually, I just would like to go one step back. Because there is an urgency why we are thinking about a more integral approach, the Maripark approach. In the Netherlands, we have the North Sea Agreement. That is a political agreement, and we also have the Marine Spatial Planning. And we decided that we would like to realize the energy, food, and nature transition in balance. What we realize in the Netherlands, but also in other countries, is that the space at sea is becoming very limited. That's why multi-use is becoming more and more important. And if you think about multi-use, wind park have a very important role because we can create balance within the wind park with multi-use by, for example, realization of nature-inclusive building. The Netherlands is there, the front runner. But we also want to include food production, like aquaculture, what is a sustainable food, or passive fishery. At the moment, we have a lot of pilots, and not only in the Netherlands, but also worldwide. There are pilots, and what we see is that we are staying in the pilot phase, because every sector, also the renewable energy like solar, food, nature restoration, we stay in each sector, and what we need is actually an overarching approach. And that's what we are elaborating at the moment in the Netherlands, but also with other countries, and it is the Maripark. Erwin, what is the Maripark?
Oh, Rogier, sit down, please. A Maripark, well, if I just explain it very simple from a business perspective, it's an offshore business area where users can rent a plot and where shared facilities or shared services are facilitated by an operator. So you can make a comparison onshore, where you have industrial areas, but we don't take the word industrial in our mouth because we are sustainable. But there is a plot you can rent, you do your activities, and now we're going to do exactly the same offshore. Which has, of course, a little bit more challenges than onshore.
So to what is this a solution? Is it to the limited amount of space we have at sea? Is it to have shared facilities possible, or to have synergies between different kind of businesses?
Actually, within the wind parks, we have a lot of space. And in the Netherlands, we are also elaborating area passports. So you can, within every wind park, together with the stakeholders, we elaborate area passport for for example, aquaculture, passive fishery, nature restoration, and renewable energy. So the space is there. But the problem at the moment is that we have quite a lot of barriers, like regulation and permitting. Technical aspects, the technical infrastructure, because if you would like to pilot and scaling up, you need infrastructure, but we also need monitoring. And what you're saying is actually we would like to find synergies to scale up all the pilots to scaling up by finding synergies in the different activities. And what Erwin just said, you can find it if you, for example, share the services together.
Yeah. If we make the analogy with business parks on land, what are the analogies, and where is it completely different?
Well, the difference is it's more expensive. Yeah. Offshore has some, well, I wouldn't call it problems, but I would call it challenges.
Challenges, yes.
And these challenges we can overcome, because offshore wind is a little bit the cork where we are floating on, also for multi-use. And why? It's because we have this beautiful roadmap for offshore wind. We know until 2050 approximately where these wind farms will be located, so the area is there. So for the Maripark, the area is also there. And in order to make offshore wind successful, offshore wind needs to overcome some challenges. Like circularity, which is already part of tender criteria, like nature enhancement, which is already part of tender criteria. And now we have the claim on space, so social acceptance. So it's a matter of time, so also multi-use will become part of the tender criteria. So it's not a question if this is going to happen, it's just a question when it's going to happen. And then we have the challenge for a Maripark to, well, because we are talking about seaweed, shellfish, passive fishery. Well, that's a little bit a different margin, profit margin that we have with renewable energy. Yeah. So we need to find some kind of businesses that are also part of the Maripark, so that the startup and the scale-up are helped a little bit by big established companies, organizations who are doing other things. So together, you can pay for the shared services.
Today here at the Offshore Energy exhibition, we have people from across the value chain, the big corporations, the startups, they're all here. Yeah, what do you want from them today?
Actually, we made a list together. For example, physical infrastructure, we need anchors, docking facilities, sensors, leveraging technologies such as drone technology. But also for our monitoring, we need also, for example, the drones, and also buoying. So we need a lot of infrastructure to make this happen, and I hope that you from the audience or one of the party that can help us.
We need people to provide the infrastructure.
Of course, there are future sustainable entrepreneurs here at the offshore experience. That's a fact, because everybody, well, the Dutch people are innovative, we are entrepreneurial, we know marine business, and what we are looking for is really people who want to be the new entrepreneurs in the sustainable blue economy. So they are renting a plot in this Maripark and doing their business. startups, scale-ups, but also the big organizations. And we also need some kind of a consortium or an entity of people who want to do the operations, the operations of the Maripark. So that then you talk about financing, funds, but also investors. And together they need to start developing the Maripark and go for the permit as an entity and provide the shared services. And then the sustainable blue entrepreneurs, they can just step to the plate and do their business.
Okay. Can I just add us a little bit? This concept is developing in the Netherlands, but we also develop it with other countries. I'm also part of an EU project with North Sea and Baltic Sea countries. And for example, in Finland and Norway, but also in Germany and France, we are thinking about the same Maripark concept approach to realize the multi-use activities.
Okay, so you basically need suppliers, you need renters, and you need ideas to make this possible. Yeah. Okay, let's talk more about what you exactly need.
Yeah, and we need, of course, also the government. To have the permits in place, the infrastructure.
But why? Because this is a public-private partnership. You could also say the government builds it and rent it out, or there's money to be made, let's make it fully private.
Public, from the government point of view, we are responsible for the stability in the regulation. And for example, in the Netherlands, we have 3 ministries that are giving the permits. So this is very difficult at the moment. It's a challenge. It's not it's a challenge to go through the permit how you call it, procedure quite smoothly. Another one is that we also want to facilitate in incentives. What do you need for creating, for example, the infrastructure? We also are facilitating the collaboration between the different stakeholders. And what we have set up in the Netherlands, and also with North Sea and the Baltic Sea countries, we have set up a community of practice with entrepreneurs, with research institutes, with NGOs, also very important, and government, because we all have the same challenges and we have to seek how we are going to go through these different challenges.
Yeah, because you're talking about the NGOs, the government, private companies, but that's a triple helix a little bit, but this is the quintuple helix, so 5. Because nature needs to find their place and their voice, which is very important because the North Sea is under pressure, all the seas are under pressure, so nature is a requirement, but also society. So that makes the Maripark a little bit more special than just a triple helix collaboration. And I think the community of practice, to elaborate a little bit further on that, in the Netherlands we have this North Sea Agreement, which has these formal meetings with the stakeholders, but the community of practice, that's the informal North Sea Accord, North Sea Agreement, because there all the stakeholders are looking, okay, how can we use the North Sea in a way that we all have a win-win-win situation. And so it's all the noses in the same direction, which is a very practical way of collaborating, because it's a matter of understanding each other's objectives, understanding each other's business, and knowing that if you combine that together, that sometimes you don't want the whole of a little part, but you want just a small part of a big cake. And I think that's a little bit what we are trying to strive here with the community of practice.
On a scale of first ideas to turnkey, we're already building it. Where are we on this scale?
At the elaboration, we are working on a plan of action, an action plan. At the moment, we are really at the beginning of the realization of the first Maripark. As we have said at the beginning, we have the space. For example, we have 2 wind parks very close to the to land. And what we are doing is we have an action plan at the moment, and we are elaborating what we really need for the Maripark, and we're also working together with other EU countries. And one thing is perhaps also nice to mention that we have also talked to DG Mare from the European Commission, and they are really they are also looking for a concept that is helping us to piloting and also upscaling within wind parks, and they encourage us to realize this first Maripark.
When would you say Maripark is a success?
Sorry?
When is it has it been a success?
In 2026.
Oh, that's very soon.
Yes.
And
yeah, if it's on my desk, that's always the nice struggle between public-private.
Yeah.
We want to go fast. Public takes a little bit more time because it needs to be all nicely agreed on. But the plan of action is this year. Next year we want to do the design, get the partners on board. Then in 2025 we're going to make all the shared facilities. So in 2026 you can then call us for rent.
And you're open for business.
And us as the new entity who is going to be the first operator of the Maripark.
And when would you call it a success? Is it when you rented out all the plots, if it makes money, if there is synergy, if there is a lot of, or everybody goes bankrupt but we learned a lot? When is it a success?
I think it's a success when we can make the business case okay for the operator, and when the business case is also okay for the multi-users. Yeah. Taking into account that everything has to be nature enhancing, yes, and also accepted by the public and society.
Yeah.
Aren't we overly optimistic about the possibilities for multi-use? Because I heard some people say we have all these great plans about food production between the wind parks, etc. But we need to do maintenance with these big maintenance vessels. It's a wind park, and that's it.
If the wind operators and the owners don't step to the plate, like they did with circularity, like they did with ecology and biodiversity, they need to do the same with multi-use. You cannot just claim the entire space just for power generation. You need to, well, do that in a multi-use way. So I think if they don't, then it's the end, and it's the end of success of wind. So it's a must. So I'm not too optimistic. It's just we need to start.
2026 is around the corner. What are some hurdles you still have to take?
Okay, we have a lot of challenges, as we have said. Actually, we just started, and what is very important is that we collaborate public-private. The public-private, actually, with the creative practice, where you are the member of the board of support, this is the basis. But we need some more. Entrepreneurs in the whole change, because a Maripark needs a lot of facilities, and that needs also a lot of experience, and also investors. Investors is also very important. So the government makes it possible, because we also have these area passports, but we also need the investors and also what I said. In the Netherlands, there is a lot of expertise. Like here, we have a lot of expertise. So we hope that this experts are joining us to make the Maripark happen.
And it's also a must, because financing is not only about making money. Financing is today and for the future also ESG. So looking at the environment, social, and the governance. And we also need the Mariparks and multi-use to reach the three transitions that are ongoing on the North Sea, which is the energy transition. We all want to have renewable energy, not only wind, but also floating solar and other stuff. We need the food transition, because we are changing from food onshore to a new way of food production, which is also a necessity. And we have, of course, nature transition, because we need to take care of the biodiversity and the ecology of the North Sea, because we need a healthy North Sea.
One of the success factors of business parks or startup incubators where they all sit together is that you meet each other at the coffee machine. On Friday afternoon, you're going to get drinks together. This is pretty large for one coffee machine, and you can't drink at sea. How should this human synergies work in a park like this?
Maybe there's an entrepreneur who sees business in having a floating coffee machine. No, but no jokes. If you have a Maripark and maybe you have facilities for accommodation, because there are a huge amount of offshore wind farms. So a huge amount of people are daily doing work over there. you can think of an entrepreneur that says, I want to go and do something with accommodation. Maybe there is a temporary storage. So maybe there are really facilities where you can have a cup of coffee. Why not?
What unicorn should give you a call that you think this is a very unlikely but very welcome tenant? Something we haven't really, that's not like the usual suspects like the wind energy or maybe an oyster farm, but what is some business that would be fantastic to have?
Well, what could be nice is maybe from an innovative side that we have a drone nest. So drones are from this Maripark, completely autonomous, doing their stuff and flying to the nest, get uploaded again, have contact with data to the shore. That would be nice. But maybe we have difficulties with data storage onshore, because that's also a claim on land where we can do other activities. Why not put them on the seabed? And that's also a booming business, which then maybe can facilitate the startup and scale-ups. And there are much more all written in the plan of action.
Yeah. Okay, so...
And another thing is perhaps also that as we are, we elaborated the Maripark as the Netherlands, but it could also be a concept that we can export as the Netherlands. So you can see it actually as an export product. We are the first one that are really elaborating, and it will take a long way to elaborate this Maripark. But if it's a success, we can export it within the EU, but also perhaps also in other countries, because a lot of countries are building at the moment wind parks. And they will also, I think they also are using the space within the wind park for example, food production, but also nature restoration. So see it as a possible export product.
And is it possible to retrofit existing wind parks to this multi-use, or should you have multi-use from the moment of designing your wind park?
Both. Actually, it's both, because at the moment we have already built some wind parks, and they are very close to the coast. And for example, for food production, aquaculture, passive fishery, it's important to be at the coast side. And we can start. Actually, we have 2 wind parks where we can start. But on the other hand, we also have what you're saying. We are designing new wind parks, so we can also bring this multi-use within the designing of the wind farms.
Okay.
Just one thing I want to mention, because luckily I'm working already a long time in offshore wind, 29 years. And when we started to building wind turbines from onshore to offshore, there was a lot of skepticism. Everybody said, can't be done, you can't make a business case, stop it, and just look where we are now. And I think we are really at the same point with Mariparks. A lot of people are saying, can be done, stop it, don't believe. Well, I believe in it, and I'm really convinced that the Maripark will be as successful, or even more successful, than offshore wind.
If you're not part of it, you really miss the boat.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, and perhaps also very good to mention is that we have asked Ernst & Young, EY, to write a blueprint Maripark, and it will be published, I think, at the beginning of next year. So this will be a roadmap. There will also be included a roadmap how to realize the Maripark in the Netherlands, but it can also be used for other countries.
Okay, so I got inspired. I am a startup and I want to rent a plot, or I want to supply some of the infrastructure or some of the services around it, maybe insure it or safeguard it or provide telecommunication services, or I have some ideas to make it better. Who do I call?
Natalie or me.
Yeah.
And, well, most certainly be a member of the Community of Practice North Sea, because there we are discussing all these kind of things, but we are always for a direct contact.
Well, then I invite myself to be the MC of the opening in 2026. Definitely, we're going to do that. Big round of applause. We have time for some questions from the audience. If you have some, or if you want to be part of it, raise your hand. You can rent from tomorrow on. Yeah, then you'll be the first renter. You get discount if you're the first renter, huh? You get a discount if you're the first one to rent the plot. No, we don't give away discounts today. No, Black Friday has passed. I don't see anything. Yeah, I see a question over here. The microphone is coming flying to you. Hello, who are you?
Hi, I'm Lola Herrera. I'm oceanographer and I'm...
You have to talk like a rapper in the microphone, yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Again, who are you?
Hello, I'm Lola Herrera and I'm oceanographer and a specialist in marine planning. And I would like to know if the community of practice is exclusive for Netherlands, or is more some kind of platform where the other countries in the North Sea are forming part of this thing?
Natalie?
Thank you for this question. The committee of practice, actually, the representative of the committee of practice asked us to work together with North Sea and Baltic Sea countries because they encounter the same challenges with multi-use upscaling. So what we have set up is a committee of practice with North Sea and Baltic Sea countries. And what we also just signed last week is a Greater North Sea Basin Initiative. It's led by the Netherlands and France. And the Committee of Practice will also build on this Greater North Sea Basin Initiative, and we will also include the upscaling of multi-use in that.
We expect you to be part of it. Do I see more? No, I don't see them right now. Can I get a big round of applause for Erwin and Natalie?